Hi Nadia, I'm Manjeet Kaur from Management Attitudes and Skills. We are going to represent leadership and its effectiveness. Myself, Manjeet Kaur, and my other group members are Vivek Kumar and Mohammad Himayu Jafar. Our first slide is introduction. We are represent on the stage. Steve, he is a co-worker. His style of leadership was very complex. He was known for the clear version of the using a technology. Leadership style play an important role in motivation and inspire others for the achieving their goals. Next slide is behavior of Stephenson leadership style. His style has a following maintained feature that contribute the success of Apple company, and he has stronger clear version for technology focusing on push himself, inspire people and around him. While his relation with families and colleagues were very complex, he had a decision making and he made important decision without his team member because he has less trust on others. He had following feature like intelligence and self-confidence. Our next slide is leadership style. Steve's style is different. He is often decision making independent. And next, he using a words and punishment for the motivational. He had a complex feature of transmission, but his style was strong, aware, and maintained, focusing on simplicity. He was not afraid to taking a risk that allowed to Apple innovated a new product. Apple's success was a huge technology innovated strong version. I'm hand over to Vivek. He going to explain other slide.
Hi Nadia, my name is Vivek Kumar and we are taking an example of Steve Jobs to explain our presentation. It is my first slide. It is about emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is to understand our feelings and others' feeling as well, like our team members, our partners and everything. Steve Jobs' leadership was a mix of their strengths and weaknesses regarding their emotional intelligence. He was very self-aware and had big dreams as well. But sometimes he was not perfect in handling emotions. Here is a quote written by Steve Jobs. It is everyone here has the sense that right now is one of those moments when we are influencing the future. In a simple way, we can say that what we are doing today, that will shape our future. Means our future is dependent on today what we are doing. In my second slide, it is about moral leaderships. Moral leadership meaning to doing right things and caring about others. Moral leaders who consistently demonstrating a strong and ethical behavior and prioritize the well-being of others and inspire the positive change through their actions and values. Good leaders always have ethical behavior and understanding about their team members as well. Always. Steve Jobs believes in empowering an individuals for making a decisions and fostering culture where best ideas could win. Steve Jobs also believed to giving freedom to their team members to make good decisions. He always want to their team that it should be creative by giving them freedom as well. He always support his teams. My next slide is about motivation and empowerment. What is motivation and empowerment? To encouraging our people, our team, our organization, and giving them power to do great things. Steve Jobs is focusing on inspiring others and focusing a culture of innovation. Always. He did always that motivate other peoples and to make their environment innovative and creative. Famous quote that shows his motivational and inspiring approach is your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. If I'm telling that in a simple way, follow your own path, not what others want you to do. Everyone should have followed their own path, where they want to go, what they want to do, no matter other people what want you do. This is my last slide, communication style of Steve Jobs. Communication style of Steve Jobs' leadership style was a blend of charisma and clarity. Steve Jobs' style was confident, clear, and told stories to make people understand easily every time. He used to telling stories in their presentations. Furthermore, he framed the product launches and presentations as compelling narratives, engaging the audience and making the information memorable.
Thank you, my group members. I am Mohammad Humayun Zafar, and I will be presenting about the Steve Jobs style of team building strategies, in diversity and inclusion, and then finally some recommendation for the aspiring leaders. To begin with, I will read my first slide, which is about the strategies for team building. One of the key aspects of Steve Jobs' leadership was his ability to empower the teams. He strongly believed in trusting people with talent and giving them a freedom and ownership to carry out their work. The approach wasn't about micromanaging, but rather about enabling motivation by letting people feel that they are in control of the work they have created. Steve Jobs also emphasized open communication at Apple. This meant fostering an environment when people felt comfortable sharing ideas, giving feedback, and even challenging each other when needed. This type of communication is crucial because especially in a creative or tech oriented industries, because it allows the ideas to surface no matter where they come from. Another important Another important key point of team building approach was to celebrate the success. Recognizing the accomplishment of teams and individuals help build a positive, motivated work culture. When people feel that their work has been noticing and appreciated, it boosts morale and encourages them to keep strive for excellence. So that's all from strategies. Now I will move forward to my next slide, which is about diversity and inclusion. So moving towards diversity and inclusion, it is true that Steve Jobs' approach to diversity didn't always align with their traditional diversity practices. He may not have focused heavily on diversity quotas or metrics, but what he did was bring in people based on purely talent and potential. His obsession with finding the best of the best meant that Apple naturally attracted a wide range of individuals, each bringing their unique perspective and ideas. So the talent first approach indirectly contributed to the diverse team environment, especially in terms of thought process, creativity, and problem solving styles. So, while the method may have not been formal, the impact was still significant in shaping Apple's culture of innovation. And finally, I will move to the next slide, which is about the recommendation for aspiring leaders. So what aspiring leaders can get from the Steve Jobs. As, so I will move forward to recommendation. Finally, based on what we can learn from Steve Jobs is that first and foremost, we should have a clear vision. Steve Jobs had a crystal clear picture of what he wanted Apple to achieve. He blended technology with simplicity and beauty. This vision gave his team direction and purpose. The second recommendation which I would suggest was Steve Jobs believed in the ideas of doing of things really well rather than trying to do everything in today's world. It is easy to get distracted, but great leaders know how to focus. They channel their energy into a few key priorities and execute them with the excellence. The third recommendation should be empower your team. Let them make decisions, take responsibility, take the ownership, and even let them make mistakes, because that's how people learn and grow. Empowered employees feel valued and are more likely to contribute to the best of their work. And last but not the least, finally, the recommendation which we can get from Steve Jobs' aspiring leadership qualities was to build a culture where ideas can be shared freely and everyone feel included. When people feel safe to express themselves and know that their contribution matters and they are heard. So in conclusion, Steve Jobs' leadership was a mix of vision, trust, and excellence, and he gave them a visionary leaders to grow with the overgoing, and he was a very good leader. Based on that, I will conclude my presentation, and from the behalf of my group members, thank you so much.